This never happened. It couldn't have happened. Bruce Lee died in Hong Kong on July 20, 1973, at the age of 32, when Mike Tyson was a 7-year-old kid in Brownsville, Brooklyn, still years away from meeting Cus D'Amato, still years away from becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history. They existed in different times, different worlds, different universes of combat. But in the mythology of fighting, in the endless debates that happen in gyms and bars and internet forums, this question gets asked constantly. What if Bruce Lee challenged Mike Tyson? What if somehow, impossibly, these two legends existed in the same moment and one challenged the other? Let's imagine it. Not as history, because it isn't history, as a thought experiment, as a way to understand what happens when two completely different philosophies of combat occupy the same space. Let's say it's 1987, Los Angeles. A private martial arts demonstration at a wealthy collector's estate, the kind of event where movie stars and athletes and business moguls gather to watch masters demonstrate their skills. And let's say, impossibly, that Bruce Lee is there, somehow still alive at 47, still moving with that supernatural speed and precision that made him a legend. And Mike Tyson is there too, 21 years old, 6 months into his reign as undisputed heavyweight champion, undefeated, unstoppable, the most feared man in boxing. The demonstration has been going on for an hour, various martial artists showing their disciplines. Karate, judo, Muay Thai. Each master performing, explaining their art, answering questions from the audience of maybe 50 people seated in a semicircle around a large matted area. It's educational, impressive, the kind of thing wealthy people pay for to feel cultured, to tell their friends they saw something authentic. Bruce Lee has just finished a demonstration of Jeet Kune Do, speed drills, precision strikes against pads, explanations of his philosophy about being like water, formless, adapting to any situation. The audience is mesmerized. Even people who've seen his movies, who think they understand what Bruce Lee can do, are shocked by the reality of it. The speed is real. The power is real. Everything they thought was camera tricks is just Bruce Lee moving the way Bruce Lee moves. Mike Tyson is sitting in the audience, 3rd row, wearing a black suit with no tie, looking slightly out of place among the Hollywood crowd, the tech money, the entertainment industry people. He's here because his manager thought it would be good exposure, good for his image to be seen at cultural events. Tyson doesn't care about any of that. He came because he was told to come, but he's been watching Bruce Lee with genuine interest, the way one master watches another, recognizing something authentic, something that transcends performance. The demonstration ends. Bruce Lee bows to the audience. They applaud, standing ovation, the kind of response that happens when people witness something exceptional. Bruce Lee acknowledges the applause with a slight smile, then walks to the side of the mat, picks up a towel, wipes his face. The host of the event, a film producer named Marcus who organized this evening, steps onto the mat with a microphone. He's been drinking champagne, feeling good, feeling like he wants to make the evening even more memorable. He says into the microphone, "We've been privileged tonight to see some of the greatest martial artists in the world, but I'm wondering if we might see something even more interesting." He pauses for effect. The audience is listening, curious. Marcus continues, "We have in our audience tonight the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. Mike, would you stand up, please?" Tyson doesn't want to stand up, doesn't want to be part of this. But everyone is looking at him now, and 50 years of social conditioning makes him stand. The audience applauds. Tyson nods once, sits back down. Marcus, emboldened by the champagne and the attention, says, "I'm wondering if we might see something unprecedented. A demonstration, not a fight, just a friendly exchange between two completely different disciplines. Mike Tyson, the embodiment of Western boxing power. Bruce Lee, the embodiment of Eastern martial arts precision. What do you all think?" The audience reacts immediately. Excited murmurs, some applause, the energy of people who sense they might witness something unique. Tyson's expression doesn't change. He didn't come here for this. Bruce Lee is standing at the edge of the mat, towel still in his hand, his face neutral, waiting to see where this goes. Marcus looks at Bruce Lee. "Master Lee, would you be willing to do a brief demonstration with Mike? Nothing serious, just showing the contrast between the two styles." Bruce Lee looks across the room at Tyson. Their eyes meet. Bruce Lee sees immediately what's happening here, sees that Tyson didn't ask for this, is being put in a position where refusing makes him look afraid and accepting makes him look aggressive. Bruce Lee has been in enough of these situations to recognize the setup. He could decline, could say no politely, end this before it starts. But there's something in Tyson's eyes, some curiosity there, some genuine interest beneath the discomfort. Bruce Lee makes a decision. He says, "I would be honored if Mike is willing." All eyes turn to Tyson, 50 people watching, waiting for his response. Tyson stands up slowly. He's been in enough public situations to know that hesitation looks like fear. And Mike Tyson, at 21 years old, at the peak of his powers, cannot afford to look afraid of anyone or anything. He says, his high-pitched voice carrying across the silent room, "Yeah, I'll do it." The audience erupts. Applause, excited conversation, people leaning forward in their seats. This is what they came for even though they didn't know it. This is the story they'll tell forever. Tyson walks toward the mat. He's wearing dress shoes, not appropriate for this, but he doesn't care. He steps onto the mat. Bruce Lee is already there, barefoot, standing relaxed, hands at his sides. They're 10 feet apart. The size difference is obvious. Tyson is 5'10", 218 pounds of compressed power. Bruce Lee is 5'7", 137, built like a whip, every ounce designed for speed. Marcus, still holding the microphone, is about to explain the parameters, about to set rules. Bruce Lee raises one hand slightly, stopping him. Says, "No microphone, no commentary, just let us work." Marcus nods, backs away, gives them the space. The room goes completely silent, 50 people holding their breath, not wanting to miss a single moment. Tyson and Bruce Lee stand facing each other on the mat, and the silence is absolute, the kind of silence that happens before storms, before moments that change everything. Bruce Lee speaks first, his voice quiet but carrying perfectly in the silence. "Mike, this isn't a fight. We both understand that. I'm not trying to prove I'm better than you. You're not trying to prove you're better than me. We're just showing two different approaches to the same problem." Tyson nods, says, "What's the problem?" Bruce Lee says, "Survival. How to survive when someone is trying to hurt you." Tyson considers this, says, "How do we do this without one of us getting hurt?" Bruce Lee says, "We move at half speed. We show the intention without the commitment. We demonstrate the openings without exploiting them. We teach the audience what real fighting looks like without actually fighting." Tyson says, "I've never done that before. In sparring, yeah, but not in front of people." Bruce Lee smiles slightly, says, "Then don't pull back. Come at me the way you would come at an opponent. I'll show you what I see, what I would do. You'll see what works and what doesn't. The audience will see the difference between our approaches. Nobody gets hurt. Everybody learns something." Tyson looks at him for a long moment. Processing. This is different from anything he's done before. Every sparring session, every training drill, every fight has been about winning, about dominance. This is about demonstration, about education, about showing rather than proving. He says, "Okay, how do we start?" Bruce Lee says, "Take your boxing stance. Show me how you enter, how you close distance and create your attack." Tyson shifts into a boxing stance, hands up, peekaboo style, elbows tight, head moving slightly, feet positioned for explosion. Even at half speed, even in dress shoes on a mat, his stance is perfect, the product of millions of repetitions, muscle memory so deep it's automatic. Bruce Lee watches, studies. His eyes move across Tyson's body, reading the position, the balance, the potential lines of attack. He says, "Whenever you're ready." Tyson moves. Not full speed, maybe 60%, but still fast, impossibly fast for someone his size. He slips forward and left, classic peekaboo movement, setting up the left hook that has knocked out dozens of professional fighters. The movement is beautiful, technically perfect, economy of motion combined with maximum threat. Bruce Lee doesn't move yet, just watches. Tyson's hook comes toward where his head is, and at the last possible moment, Bruce Lee shifts. Not a big movement, just 6 inches to the right and 2 inches back. and suddenly Tyson's hook is passing through empty air, and Bruce Lee's hand is extended, fingers pointing at Tyson's exposed ribs, showing the target, showing what would be hit if this was real. They freeze in that position. Tyson looking at Bruce Lee's hand pointed at his ribs. Bruce Lee looking at Tyson's face. The audience is completely silent. Not because nothing happened, because they're beginning to understand what they're watching. Bruce Lee steps back, resets, says, "Again, different angle." They do it 5 more times. Each time Tyson attacks differently, trying different entries, different combinations, using his footwork and head movement to create openings. Each time Bruce Lee finds the counter, shows the vulnerability, demonstrates what he sees. He doesn't hit, doesn't make contact, just shows. Ribs, throat, eyes, knees, the vulnerable points that size doesn't protect. After the 6th exchange, Tyson stops, stands there breathing slightly harder, not from exertion, but from the mental effort of processing what he's experiencing. He says, "You're seeing things before I commit to them. Reading my weight shift, my shoulder movement, something I'm not aware I'm showing." Bruce Lee says, "Yes, that's what 30 years of training does. I'm not faster than your punch. I'm faster than your decision to throw the punch. I'm reacting to what comes before the action, not the action itself." Tyson says, "But you're assuming I can't adjust, that I won't see what you're doing and change my approach." Bruce Lee says, "You're absolutely right. You would adjust. You're too intelligent not to. So let's reverse it. You stand still. I'll attack. You show me what you see." They switch positions. Now Bruce Lee is the attacker. He moves into range, throws a quick combination, hands and feet, the kind of speed that looks impossible, that makes the audience gasp. But Tyson, even in dress shoes, even without gloves, sees it coming. His head slips, his body rotates, and Bruce Lee's strikes pass through the space where Tyson was, and Tyson's counter, a right hand thrown at quarter speed but with perfect placement, stops 2 inches from Bruce Lee's chin. They freeze again. Bruce Lee looking at the fist 2 inches from his face. Tyson looking at Bruce Lee's eyes. The room is still silent, but the silence has changed. It's not anticipation anymore. It's understanding. Bruce Lee smiles, steps back, says to Tyson, "If that lands, this demonstration is over, and I don't get up. Your power is real." Tyson says, "If yours land first, my power doesn't matter because I'm blind or my throat is collapsed or my knee is destroyed." They stand there looking at each other, both understanding the same thing simultaneously. In a real fight between them, both men lose. Maybe one loses consciousness. Maybe one loses their life. But both lose something irreplaceable. The cost is too high. The damage is too permanent. Bruce Lee says, loud enough for the audience to hear, "This is what people don't understand about real fighting. It's not about who wins. It's about what winning costs. Mike could knock me unconscious with 1 punch. I could disable Mike with 1 strike to the right target. We're both capable of ending this immediately. But ending it means destroying someone who doesn't deserve to be destroyed. Someone we respect." He looks at the audience now, speaking to them directly. "You came here hoping to see a fight. Hoping to see one of us prove superiority over the other. But what we've shown you is something more important. We've shown you that 2 completely different systems, 2 completely different philosophies, are both valid, both effective, both deadly in the right circumstances. Mike Tyson would destroy me in a boxing ring. I would have advantages in a street fight with no rules, but we're not in either of those situations. We're here, now. 2 people who respect each other choosing not to fight because fighting would diminish us both. The silence that follows is different from all the silences before. This silence is understanding, acceptance. The audience came expecting spectacle and received wisdom instead. They came hoping for conflict and received philosophy. Some looked disappointed, most looked thoughtful. A few looked genuinely moved. Tyson extends his hand to Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee takes it. They shake, holding it longer than a normal handshake. The grip of 2 warriors acknowledging each other across different disciplines, different eras, different approaches to the same fundamental truth. Violence is a tool. Wisdom is knowing when not to use it. Bruce Lee says quietly, just to Tyson, "Thank you for trusting me, for being vulnerable in front of all these people. That took more courage than fighting would have taken. Tyson says, "Thank you for showing me something I didn't know, for teaching me instead of trying to prove something." They release the handshake, turn to face the audience together. The applause starts slowly, then builds, then becomes a standing ovation, not because they saw a fight, but because they saw something rarer. They saw two masters choose wisdom over ego. They saw strength defined not by destruction, but by restraint. This never happened. Bruce Lee and Mike Tyson never met, never stood on a mat together, never demonstrated their art side by side. But if they had, this is what it should have looked like. Not a challenge answered with violence, but a challenge answered with respect, with teaching, with the understanding that the strongest thing two dangerous men can do is choose not to hurt each other. The room went silent before anything happened because nothing needed to happen. The silence itself was the answer. The restraint itself was the victory. And everyone who witnessed it, real or imagined, understood that they'd seen something far more impressive than any knockout could ever be. They'd seen wisdom. And wisdom, in the end, always defeats violence.